I think this story is a cool juxtaposition today. So we had this week, we had some announcements from Wayfair, and then we also had the relaunch of Pier 1. So quick background on both. This past week, Wayfair announced that its net income has shot up a remarkable 164, or did shoot up a remarkable 164% in the third quarter, and that as a result, it posted its second profitable quarter in a row. Way Day specifically was huge. It was the company's biggest day ever, and net revenue shot up over 66% over the prior year to $3.8 billion. So keep that in mind, everyone. Wayfair is now doing $4 billion in revenue a quarter. The company press release also said that Wayfair recorded 28.8 million active users, up from roughly 19 million last year, and repeat customers, which has been something that Wayfair has taken hits for in the past, placed an estimated 11 million orders during the period, or were 71% of the total order volume. Pretty stellar. Then on the flip side, you've got Pier 1 launching as a pure play e-commerce player. And this new site, according to Chain Store Age, stocks hundreds of familiar SKUs in categories like holiday, seasonal furniture, pillows, cushions, dining and entertaining, decor, lighting, candles, rugs, curtains, bath and beds, and outdoor and more. I couldn't even say that. It's just so much fun. All right. And Emma, what do you guys think? I just am going to go out there. I don't get this Pier 1 thing. I'll say why in a minute, but I want to hear what you guys think. I'm not getting it. Emma,
well, first, I want to know what people are doing who have Wayfair and Shopify stock, because you have all of you're rolling it in right now. This is unbelievable.
Buying more stuff on Wayfair.
Yes,
yeah, right.
Sorry, go to Emma. Emma, what do you think of this?
Wayfair, I think, is awesome. Like, they're killing it. They definitely deserve this. But I agree with you, Chris. The Pier 1 thing, there is no need for this to exist at all. Like, it is too much stuff that you can get in so many other places. And yeah, I just don't understand why they're coming back. I feel like the ending was a nice end of an era and we should move on.
Emma, how familiar are you with Pier 1?
I've been into Pier 1 stores before. There was like one Pier 1, which when I was like 6, I thought was the coolest thing ever because everything was so shiny in there and like
good
all
smells,
the trinkets and whatnot. Yeah. And so when I was like a child, I thought it was really cool. But as I got older, I was like, this is ridiculously expensive, and this is all stuff that I have absolutely no need for.
Yeah, I mean, my first store I ever can remember going to, actually, good old Chuck, Father Chuck, took me into Pier 1. He was a huge Pier 1 fan. This was like 1982. But so Emma, I mean, just back to you on that, like, I mean, you being the youngest one here by far, this whole this whole thing, it's about let's acquire all of these, former companies, former legacy retailers. I shouldn't say former, but legacy retailers. Bring them online only, re-enliven the brands, make them interesting to people again. And there's a there supposedly. You're not understanding what that there is right now. Okay, no, Anne, what do you think?
Yeah.
So I think, background for people that might not be familiar. Retail e-commerce ventures is the company that Chris is talking about that's buying up all these old brands. So they're buying everything from, they did the same thing with Dress Barn not too long ago. They bought everything from linens and things to Models. The owners, Ty Lopez, a media influencer, and a former NASA scientist, Alex Mayer, are the two co-founders of this venture.
Yeah, he was like Zeus or something, right? Like the dating app? Yeah. I think it was
so, I mean, my question is, can they truly revitalize it? And in an interview with Ty Lopez, he was talking about how like there's this nostalgia because he was going into Pier 1 as a kid and he remembers it, similar to what Emma's saying. But I just don't understand what the value is of holding on to the Pier 1 name. I'm a little surprised that they aren't going in and they're not like turning this into a new brand. Like, keep the same product, keep the data that you find valuable about Pier 1, keep the customer information that you bought in this acquisition. But I just don't understand why they wouldn't go for more of like a, let's rethink this. If we're really trying to go after the Gen Z audience, they don't have any attachment to the Pier 1, to the Dress Barn. Like, why not take this product set and try to leverage your experience as a media influencer, knowing what people are looking for in this vein, add some sort of other like sustainability or social like a component to it. I don't know. I feel like there's something that's missing here. to make them
There's a hook we
even,
haven't seen yet.
yeah. And I just
Yeah.
don't understand it. I mean, they're smart people. So I don't know. And I also,
Yeah.
I guess, I'm also questioning the Wayfair results a little bit, and just, again, given the times. So is this going to be sustainable? Are we going to see the same numbers post-pandemic? Because I think that you have a lot of people that were spending, especially in this category, over the course of the last 6 months. And that's probably why we're seeing these numbers. I don't know if this is going to be a consistent thing. And then how many people do you need in the market? Do you need a Pier 1? Do you need a Wayfair?
Well, I think you're hitting on it there. I think that's the interesting thing about Wayfair. That the repeat customer statistics are really interesting to me too, because that's always been the knock on Wayfair. And Wayfair's whole plan all along has been, let's be the online place for furniture. And I think you could argue that when people are in that mindset, they're now becoming that place. And so that puts them in a really strong position. So if I'm them, hopefully the pandemic has helped to create my branding halo around that, which now, if you go back to this point about Pier 1, there could be something going on here. I'm not smart enough to figure out what it is, but like, this is probably the category of retail that I have the most experience in, that being home furnishings. And it's hard for me to understand how this plays out on a landscape. So first, like, look, you've got Amazon and Wayfair. We just talked about Wayfair building the brand as the online space, as the online home furnishing space. How do those business models work? Amazon and Wayfair, they're huge marketplaces of home furnishings products, right? Like, other people are selling stuff on there. It's all done through drop ship. A lot of the stuff you can find other places. It's just a question of who can get it, who has the best price on it, and who can get it to you the most cheaply and most efficiently. And you have to remember, in home furnishings, that's kind of a big deal. It's a really big deal. And so then you start thinking about, okay, well, who are the other, what are the other options you have? Well, you could start selling your own products, right? But okay, Walmart, Target, IKEA, they're already kind of playing that value game. And quite frankly, I can remember going into Pier 1 stores as a home furnishings vice president and like saying, what is this is great. And honestly, it wasn't that much at the time, but like, what can we do better and a better value than them in this same kind of global look and feel? So that's a hard position for them to be in, especially when you're talking online, the pricing, the shipping dynamics, the competitiveness. And by the way, how many pure play home furnishings retailers have even worked in e-commerce over the last few years? The only ones I can even name, Hayneedle not working. The only ones I can even name are like Overstock and Wayfair. And Overstock's model isn't even that dissimilar than what I was just talking about. So I don't understand where this goes. The only route it looks like it has is what you guys are saying, which is, let's build this brand. Let's communicate to people differently. And yeah, maybe you can do it. Maybe you can build that branding story, or is it a flash in the pan? Now, that says nothing about all the other moves like dress and all that, not coming on that, just specifically in terms of like home furnishings. I'm not exactly sure how this plays out, but I don't know. Anne, any final thoughts on that?
Yeah, I appreciate your insight. I mean, you've been in this world for so long. And I think ultimately for me, it's like, I don't understand how the business model works. If what all of these things that you're saying are consistent, I don't know how Pier 1 makes it, I guess, how they stand a chance in this. I'm not quite sure, but unless they come up with a different format.
Yeah. And the other thing I mentioned too is like if you're in the market for like elegant furniture or, like dining pieces, things like that, which isn't necessarily all of what Pier 1 is, if at all, quite honestly, but like that's stuff that is hard to buy online too. So there's an element of where stores are still important in home furnishings too. And some of that discovery process, it's about finding the balance. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. Yeah, but I'm not sold on it yet.